Thank you very much, Kamu. My greetings to the Deputy Ministers, Deputy Minister Woshielo, Deputy Minister Matale. My greetings to the National Commissioner, General Masimula, Deputy National Commissioner Musikidi, who is here, and other generals that are with us this morning. My greetings to you. Our apologies for the short delay. We convened this briefing for the sole purpose of updating the nation, and I must say at this point we are thankful that you came, but apart from the nation, that will include everybody who is concerned about this matter of a young child from Matatiele and the circumstances around her. Of course, we have to say this upfront, that the matter is a sensitive one, that it includes a minor, 9-year-old child. And of course, we acknowledge the concerns that have been shown by the public in the last few days on the matter. And we will handle the matter accordingly as a sensitive matter involving the minor. Now, when this matter came to our attention at head office, that is above the police station, above the area where it happened, and finally landed on us through the mother of the child sometime earlier this year, we decided to send a warrant officer who is attached to the ministry, just to go there in person and hear her out face to face, because we picked it up right then that it was a sensitive matter and that she was raising a number of concerns. Now, when he came back, the initial report indicated that this is a matter that actually happened in October last year, where following what concerned the parents of the child, they proceeded to open a case. And this was followed by the examination of the minor by relevant people, a medical doctor and a social worker. And accordingly, according to procedure, the people, that is the IO, the investigating officer handling the matter, proceeded with the docket to the senior state prosecutor. And once the prosecutor had familiarized themselves with or had read the content, they declined to prosecute. Now, they cited insufficient evidence. By then, it was November. Now, one of the conclusions that we had reached when we received the report, of course, was that while on one hand the docket could have been handled differently, but it was showing elements of a complex case. And why? One of the reasons why we're saying so is that there are no witnesses on the case. In other words, as the matter continued to play in the public, and the investigations continued up to the time when the docket was taken to the prosecutor. It wasn't accompanied with witness, as would be the case in a normal case. But then there was a decision that the matter should be handled by a brigadier, so that they would apply their mind better than the initial investigating officer because of the reasons that I've cited. And we were looking forward at that time that perhaps at that stage the docket could be improved, because there was no doubt that something had gone wrong with the child, even at that stage. Now, after the handling of the matter by various officers, as indicated, there's one critical aspect which has continued to present a serious challenge, adding to the complexity of the matter, is that of the DNA. DNA is critical when these matters of this nature are handled right from the beginning. Now, DNA testing was done on the victim as per procedure. And the outcome of those who were dealing with the matter was that no foreign DNA could be found on the victim. But in the course of time, there were 3 persons of interest who emerged. Now, that then required further DNA testing to be done, so that whatever would be gleaned, whatever information would be gleaned from the DNA testing on the persons of interest could help in the case. Now, as a means of ensuring that the investigation is handled with a necessary expertise and capacity, the National Commissioner deployed a Major General, Cwecwe, the head of the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit at head office, to go down to Matatiele to lead the team that was already dealing with the matter, with a number of people, and in this instance 2 colonels that would assist her in the further investigation of the matter. What has since become clear since they started is that the investigation generally followed the correct processes, but of course with challenges present, as I've indicated, that this is a case without witnesses, and it's a case involving a minor, and it's a case where DNA, crucial as it would be, but it wouldn't be comprehensive and get completed, in the sense that you wouldn't be able to do the necessary procedural comparisons. Now, the track record of our family violence child protection units remains commendable, with more than 35,500 GBVNF suspects arrested in the last 2 years. During the same period, 4,500 accused persons were convicted and are serving time in prison for GBVNF. And I must mention that even at that time, during those last 3 months of last year, there were a number of other cases that were emerging all over in Limpopo and in Mpumalanga that required the same team to do investigations. And what I'm indicating here is that the unit is hard at work on these similar cases, which is a reflection of a worrying trend in the country with the cases of GBVNF seemingly increasing. Of course, this indeed must illustrate the seriousness of which the figures above, with which the SAPs are treating these cases. Now, 660 of these suspects have received, in the period, life imprisonment. It is worth noting that this past week alone, 259 rape suspects were arrested. The majority of them, 95 of these arrests were made in KwaZulu-Natal. This week, we have also welcomed the arrest of a 58-year-old male educator on Monday, to be specific, Monday afternoon, on the 31st of March 2025, for an alleged rape incident of a 13-year-old female learner in the Capricorn district in Limpopo. The educator has appeared in court and is facing charges of rape, or a charge of rape. In another rape of a minor, a 79-year-old man was arrested on Sunday, the 30th of March 2025, at Cottondale Trust in Akonhoek after allegations that he raped a 14-year-old child. From where we sit, we are concerned, very much concerned, and we understand the pain and anger that this incident or these incidents caused or cause, including this one in Matatiele. It's no longer a matter of the victim or of the family. It's not even a matter of Matatiele or the Eastern Cape. It is quite far bigger than that, and it is far more serious from where we sit on a national scale. This is a matter that transcends individual tragedy, and we acknowledge the deep emotional impact it has had on all of us. However, I must stress that due to the sensitive nature of this case in particular that is in point, and the investigations that are ongoing, we can't go on at this stage to disclose all the details because they will interfere with the investigations that are currently going on and are reaching what we consider to be a very sensitive stage. And we're hoping that very soon we'll get to conclude the whole matter. Still complex as it is, as I indicated at the beginning. Now, Ministry of SAPs and SAPs as a whole, including the relevant units, are committed to upholding the law and ensuring that justice is served, including in complex matters. And that is why we will go out of our way and ensuring that whatever support the Major General requires in this case, it will be given to her. And I must indicate that the day before yesterday, We spent no less than 2 hours, almost all of us on the high table here, getting the report from the Major General and asking questions and giving guidance at the same time virtually. Now, through all of this, we are seeking to indicate to the nation that we are dealing with the matter and we are treating it with all the seriousness that it deserves, and have, as indicated to the Major General that whatever support, whatever guidance she needs, it is we are all at her disposal. Moving forward, we are going to focus more attention on the victim in terms of providing necessary support, assessments, and rehabilitation. And at this stage, I must indicate that we are working closely with the Premier of Eastern Cape and his whole team there, and we are in contact on a regular basis, and we appreciate the role that they are playing. But we do want at the same time to say that we would want to make an appeal that we leave room for the investigators to operate and lead all of us in these investigations. And in this case, it is Major General Lekgale and the team. But people who require to make inquiries, we do have the spokesperson of SAPS, we do have the spokesperson of the ministry, so that the questions get directed to them as more information or progress gets required. And we have the whole of the communications team in SAPS that are dealing with the matter. But what is important, as I end, is that we are assuring the public that we are quite involved in the matter, and we are monitoring all the developments and guidance being offered, support being offered, just to make sure that we arrive at a speedy conclusion of the matter, seeing that it's an emotional matter by nature. Even if we concluded within a week, it would have drawn all of our attention and would have elicited the kind of emotions that it is. We want to assure the family and the community of Matatiele, and I do want to say that we appreciate the cooperation that we have received from the mother right from the beginning, and other relatives. She is the one who raised the matter over and above, raising her concerns on the investigation that was already taking place, highlighting one or two aspects that she was concerned about. And as indicated, we responded to her, and recently we've spoken to her on a number of occasions. We are therefore appealing for calm on the matter, while understanding the concerns which we share as a Department of SAPS, and are saying we are seized with the matter and will remain seized with it until conclusion of the whole investigation and court processes when they arise. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister. Colleagues, we are going to move to the questions and answers session. And I think just to reiterate that investigations are still underway. By a show of hands, can I see if we do have any questions? I have 2 hands that I'm going to take. We'll start with you. Okay, I have 3 hands. We'll start with you, Bafedile, and then number 2, then number 3.
Good afternoon. My name is Bafedile from ESCA. Minister, it took about 6 months to reach where we are. Would you concede that as a South African Police Service you failed the family? And also the other question is that in terms of your officials training, when it comes to dealing with issues of this nature, do you think that there is an improvement that still needs to be done?
Okay, we can take the second hand.
Mongezi Goko from Eyewitness News. My question is directed to the Minister. When it comes to the Matatiele area, EWN is doing a focus on that particular area, and we found that there are 3 similar cases that have occurred, particularly in October last year. We do understand that the government has committed to assisting in that regard, but will those cases also be treated the same way as this particular case? And how far are we in making progress? I'm going to give you an example. One of the children who was sexually assaulted, is a 6-year-old boy, and he lives 3 blocks away from that particular creche where the incident took place, and the second incident also took place at that particular creche. It's still running, the community still sending their children there. So what exactly is going to be done around that? Thank you.
Okay. You can take the third hand, then we have the fourth hand up there.
Cwecwe from NHN News. I just wanted to know, Minister, you mentioned that the track record of the child protection unit is commendable because of the 35,000 arrested suspects. I wanted to know the numbers on against how many reports and complaints were made when it comes to these arrests. Also, you mentioned this past week there are 259 rape suspects that were arrested. Against how many reports and complaints that were made to SASS about this? And just a follow-up to that question as well, what are some of the reasons that lead to the gap between the rape complaints and the actual arrests of the suspects that are made? Thank you.
We can take the fourth hand. There's a request for you to just raise your voice.
My name is Cwecwe from the Cwecwe.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, in regards to the social media trolls, if there's anything that's been taken, any action that has been taken against social media people who are basically, in a way, not attacking the victims of.
We'll take the last hand and then we'll have the responses.
Hi, my name is from Newsroom Africa. I think for us, I know that the Minister has highlighted that this is still early stages and perhaps you can't give us full information, but I think I would just like to find out who are the suspects that they currently investigating.
We can have the responses.
Six months and training. We start with 6 months. It is a fact that it has taken 6 months to arrive here. And what does it mean? And in terms of training, are there needs? Have we identified that? There is never a time when we are going to say all police, including those who work in these units, have received adequate or enough training such that they don't need any further training. Training is ongoing. Not even talking about people retiring and new ones coming in, but ordinarily you want to reach the top in terms of all aspects of investigations as far as police are concerned, and therefore it's an ongoing matter. Of course, Each and every case has its own complexities and challenges, and it's only then that you realize that one of the things that you require training on is this particular aspect as and when it comes. But ordinarily, as figures indicate that I indicated here, they do show that the police are at work all over South Africa. Arrests and convictions. If there's one case that we investigate and we don't get a conviction of a GBV and F nature, it is one too many, of course. We will not say just because it is one case, it's fine. You remember that cases of GBV and F are very, very serious cases, especially when it comes to the nature of the violations that happen, done by perpetrators, all the time called men. The very nature of this, savage, violent, and often accompanied by murder, and all the other things that you can count as that we have experienced in the past. Now, it is for these reasons that there is a unit, a dedicated unit in SAPS, who receive ongoing training and even support where necessary. But ordinarily, they are doing their work, and we will give them continuous training, of course. Number two, will this case and other cases be treated similarly, including the ones who are aware of the case, of the other case? And if I'm not mistaken, it includes another 7-year-old. That one was fairly straightforward, in that there was a suspect, there was an arrest, and the processes are continuing, and of course, each one of these cases, I want to emphasize, are treated with the seriousness that they deserve. In the very same period that these cases emerged, I just want to mention one case that I became personally aware via the contact of the father of the victim in Witbank, who phoned from the Eastern Cape to tell us about the plight of her daughter, who was nearly murdered by her husband. We followed that case even when the husband was promising his wife a holiday and R1 million, persuading her to withdraw the case and all of that. So we take these matters seriously. Now, on the mandate and figures, I will ask the National Commissioner to respond on that. But generally, what will be done? We are generally increasing and intensifying efforts to the best of our ability on cases of this nature. Safe to say that and mention that the dark side of these matters is that we really are able to be able to know what is going to happen between two people who are partners. And these cases often emerge under those circumstances, behind closed doors. But once incidents of this nature have happened, it is our commitment that we intensify and increasingly improve the way we deal with them. Social media question. I didn't get what you were saying about social media. You started off a little bit louder, and then you were flat. But I accept emphasizing, of course, that we are treating all these matters with the seriousness that it deserves, but I'm prepared to hear you out once more. What was the question?
Will action be taken against those who go onto social media saying vile things about the victim? So speaking ill of the victim or making light of the situation?
Just the last part?
Will action be taken against individuals who go onto social media and say bad things or ill things of the victim?
Oh, I see. No, we would want to really make an appeal that we treat these matters seriously and with compassion. All the women and children who find themselves in these unfortunate situations, they need our empathy. They need our support. And there is no way we can throw in any ridicule that will further exacerbate the pain that not only them would feel, but all of us. Remember that each one of them is someone's daughter, is someone's sister, and is a child to someone, and is a family member, and in any case is a part of our family as South Africans. And no one will ever deserve in any platform to be ridiculed in any direct or indirect way. Let us be human and let us demonstrate our Ubuntu when we go through such incidents. And that is what I would say to you. Thank you very much. National Commissioner.
Thanks very much. With regard to the number of arrests, as it was said, is 259 that has been made. And the cases, I do not have the figures, but normally they range between 600 to 900 a week. But that is not only against children, but it's all sexual offenses to either be it males or females. That is more or less the figure per week. Cases in Matatiele, I think the minister spoke to. We are investigating those cases, and in some there has been arrest made already. And I think those were the outstanding. The minister did speak about training. We do give specialized training to our members that are stationed at the FCS unit. They undergo firstly the basic training, and after some years they go for detective training, which is resolving of crime, which every detective have. But thereafter they go for specialized training in the investigation of sexual offenses. And of course we also have forensic social workers that are working with these specific units. So the same training that all other FCS members had, the Matatiele FCS members also underwent that training. And we continuously do refresh our members. Of course, always they will have to acquire experience as they go along. So the junior ones learn from the other senior ones in the investigation of cases in order to empower them to become better. Yeah, I think that was all. Thanks.
Can I just check from the colleagues from GCIS if we do have any questions from the online platforms? Okay, we do have one. Please read it out. Yes.
there was no foreign DNA that could be linked to the three suspects. Could we take this to mean that should this matter go to court, there is no prospect of success or prosecution in terms of, the information that the police have in their on the victim at the moment?
Another question or the same one? Same. You adding? Okay, Ngobile, and then we'll take the last hand.
So we also wanted to understand clarity on the foreign DNA part, but also far beyond that, would like to find out there are some of the posts that have been made, not necessarily by you, but they're saying that the principal DNA results have come back negative. Is that true? Would like to find out.
Not yet. We take the last hand and then we'll give responses. There's the last hand.
Good afternoon. My name is Kanelo Kumba from Kai News. Since this matter has emerged, there's been statements from the SAPS. The first initial statement that we had on the weekend was that the police are investigating a rape allegation. Today, before the briefing, it was a sexual assault allegation. Today, nowhere in the statement do we mention what police are investigating. Can we get just clarity around what this matter is, what the matter investigated is? Is it rape allegations or sexual assault?
We spoke about 3 people of interest. Does not necessarily mean that those people are suspects. As we said, the first IOs, they did investigation, and it was identified that there are people that they could bring closer, and the DNA of these 3 has been taken, and it will be analyzed. So they are not suspects, they are people of interest. And the investigation, we are investigating a sexual offense, which, yes, in street language you might call it rape or sexual offense, but we are investigating the possible alleged violation of the minor. The complexity of the DNA, I think what is being said is that DNA was collected from the victim, and there is no foreign DNA that has been found on the victim. But that doesn't mean we must close the investigation and stop. Hence, I appointed a senior investigator to look at further avenues, because as the Minister said, investigation of cases of minors is quite very complex. It takes time, because at some point the minor will be of assistance, but also it takes time. It's not something that happens quite quicker. So we are not complete with the investigation. We'll go further with the investigation, and if there is whatever leads we find, we'll follow in terms of the investigation.